Hey, Motivator fam, it's Regina Coley, CEO of Motivator Inc., where we help women to understand their significance, radiate their brilliance, and make their mark. I am so excited that you are here today. I don't think you are here by coincidence nor chance. I think that you are here for such a time as this, for this message on this day, in this moment, in this season, for your ears, for your own revelation, and whatever God is speaking to your heart today. I hope that you let it permeate and that you let it take root as we discuss this message today called On Your Mark, Get Set, Go, Positioning and Preparation for Your Next Opportunity. So I'm going to just tell you now, you might want to go ahead and grab a notebook and a pen. And if you do not have one, might I suggest you grab our big book of brilliance over at motivator.shop. These notebooks are a wonderful place for you to capture all your brilliant, intelligent ideas, map out and plan out the things that you want to do, take notes with inspiring messages like this so that you know how to take action and how to move forward with your vision and the gifts that you've been given. Again, it's over at motivator.shop. All right, so as the CEO of this company, I have been in this space supporting women and girls for honestly the past 13 years now. I am professionally an educator and transitioned into working for myself as a consultant and a full time teacher, teaching women how to understand their significance, radiate their brilliance, and make their mark. I am an award winning advocate for women and girls. I'm very proud of the work that I do. I'm a serial author with different self help books for women and girls at various stages of their lives. And I have tons more books coming. You can check those out at motivator.shop as well if you're interested in grabbing a few for your own personal library. But as a personal growth coach, I'm really excited about the opportunity to help grow people. And in doing this, we look a lot towards transformation and being really intentional about what that looks like, both personally and professionally. So I help schools and systems and brands build exceptional educational programs because that is where my passion lies is in programming. I think programs are the most powerful tool to teach people. It's to get them all together in a group with like-minded individuals and just lay out an awesome curriculum. So that is my profession. That's what I do. And I am blessed to be able to do that through Motivator. And I think that education is a tool that is used for liberation and to be able to increase your income and opportunities for women worldwide. So I heavily advocate education and entrepreneurship as two routes to take to dig ourselves out of any holes we find ourselves in as women or to advance ourselves and our families. So I'm so happy that you're here because I believe that opportunity exists for you as well. I know when I started my journey on looking towards how to grow myself, how to grow my brand, I really was looking towards self help books a lot, business books. I was just drenched in learning and what you know, nobody can take from you. That's why we say knowledge is power. It's one of our mottos here because it truly is. The more knowledge you have, the more powerful that you can become. So if you're looking to make your mark, if you are looking to understand why you are here, what you're here for, are you on the right track? You are most certainly in the right place today. All right. So it's go time, y'all. It is go time. Listen, I typically work with women who are interested in making a difference in the world. And they tend to do that again through exceptional educational programs. But I also have people who are just entrepreneurs that I just talk them into starting an educational program. Um, but it's in our blood. And I want to raise teachers of excellence. I believe that all of us are teachers. All of us are in a position where we can teach other people lessons, either mistakes that we've made or the route to take. We all have something valuable to offer and to teach another person, either that's coming up behind you or your peers or your colleagues. Every one of us has a teacher inside of us. So I'm really excited to be able to um, teach today through this lens of it's go time. I kept hearing this message in my mind really from the beginning of this year, and I've stalled on delivering this message because I wasn't sure what it was go time for. I just knew it was go time. And one of the things that I do is I have a keynote talk called Restore Remarkable, and it helps women to understand that they're worthy of attention. That's literally what the word remarkable is, that they're outstanding, that they're exceptional, that they're striking. People cannot take their eyes off of you. And I knew that this was something that I had to literally repeat to myself so that it resonated with me. And I hope that you understand that this resonates with you as well. This is you. You are remarkable. That's not small. That's not applicable to everybody except you. That includes you. And the crazy thing about it is that we've been dealt a faulty belief system sometimes, and we believe that opportunities are available for other people, or other people can be rich and successful, other people can balance it all, but we can't. And if you've ever dealt with a faulty belief system like that, it will allow you to believe that success might be available to you, but you cannot confidently say that success is my birthright. I was sent to succeed. It's available to me. Not only is it available to me, it's here for me now. All I have to do is get up and go get it. Right. And so, one of the things that I love about Motivator is that we do get to help women understand that their significance is not something that can be given. I cannot give you significance. I cannot take away your significance. It is a marker of your identity. You are significant. You are created for a purpose, and nobody can take that away from you. What ends up happening is women don't tap into it, so they don't show up in a way where they are seen and heard, because they think maybe it's just, maybe the other person who's confident, maybe the one who's beautiful, maybe the one who's well dressed, maybe the one who's, an eloquent speaker, maybe the one who has the wealth, they're the ones to do it, but not me. And I'm here to tell you today, it's not. You are remarkable. You are marked. It is a visible distinction of your identity. You are different. I remember as a child, my mom used to tell me all the time, you're different. There were other people that would say, there's something about her. And I was like, I don't understand. I don't feel any different. I desperately, desperately wanted to fit in. I think that that's what most kids want, is to just be able to fit in, blend in, not really stand out. So having been told that my entire life was not something that I wanted to embrace, but I was always told that I was special, that there's something unique about me. But I always felt pretty regular. I didn't know what special felt like. I still don't know what it feels like, but I do know that I am chosen. I do know that I am valuable. I know that I'm loved. And so, all of these affirmations that I believe of myself and speak over myself, I want you to believe those things for you too. You are special. You are unique. And there is not a feeling that you can feel that will make you feel any different. It's just a knowing that you have to carry. God sees us, and He sees the unique differences in each and every one of us. He's marked each of us with unique voices, unique gifts. And so when we aren't fully understanding or operating in them, then we kind of miss the mark. We miss the mark. So we're going to start off today's message talking about this. So, today's message is called On Your Mark, Get Set, Go. We're going to go through each of them. I don't want you to miss your mark. I don't want you to miss your mark. So firstly, I want to talk to you about, what does it mean to be on your mark? What does that mean? It's positional. Literally, when you are on your mark, like if you are in a race, you have to get into a position. And you can see here in this picture, both of these runners are in this position. I always used to wonder, why do runners start like this? Why can't they start standing up and just take off? But it's the position that will allow them to propel themselves enough to be able to lunge forward and run. So it is a marker. It's a place where they got to start. So for you, I know when I hear it's go time in this message, I'm saying, okay, God, I understand that it's time for me to go forward with some kind of a vision that you've given me, to take action, to execute on it, to not allow my ideas and the unique voice that you've given me, the unique gifts that you've given me, to lay dormant. And for a lot of us, those gifts and our voice lay dormant. Those ideas lay in our big book of brilliance, and there's no action being taken on them for years and years and years. and we stall and we take programs and certifications and courses, and we listen to this coach and that coach. We listen to everybody who tells us what we should be doing. Get on social media, create video, make TikToks, get on YouTube, and it starts to become this overwhelming list of things that we're supposed to do. And before you even really get started, you can kind of feel overwhelmed. I've been in that place. I feel like that sometimes when I look at my to-do list. It's like it's never ending. It's never ending. I forgot to mention I'm a mom of 8. So it's always something that has to be done around the house. There's always a child who needs something. It's always something, right? It's always something. In addition to trying to take care of yourself, it's kind of like, I could see how easy it is for someone to miss their mark because of the busyness of life, because of the chaos of life. When there's a lot of things going on, the distractions of busyness can keep us in a cycle where we miss our mark. And sometimes we feel if we've missed the mark that it's too late to go back and get into position. That's like a runner. You might have missed the beginning of the 5K. You feel like, well, that race is over. I've missed out. I can't do that. But what I want you to understand is if you are called to a place, you can always go back to that place and get started. You've got to get in position. If you are ready to move forward and go with the thing that you've been given, you've got to get in position. I don't know a runner who would get into that position who hasn't trained, who hasn't changed their diet, who hasn't increased their water intake, who hasn't gone through the training, who doesn't have on the right gear. It is a preparation for the positioning because we don't want to faint during this race. So there's a preparation process. You have not missed your mark because right now a lot of us are in preparation mode. We know that we're getting ready to run a race, but it requires us to do some pre-work before we get started, right? So I want you to understand that getting ready is getting into position. Also, when we talk about your mark, I told you about that keynote talk that I gave about Restore Remarkable, and I told you that you are marked. If you are marked, it's literally a visible distinction. So it is something that people will be able to see. People will take note of your preparation and your training as you're getting ready to make this run, as you're getting ready to go. And it's something that you should also be able to notice as well. Your daily habits are changing, your mindset is changing, the way that you show up is changing. Changes will occur as you're on your mark or as you're getting ready to get into position. It's the preparation for the positioning, right? So this marking place um, is really go time. Like I can't even stress it enough. And then when I say it's go time, it's not ready. You're not ready to start running just yet. It's just the preparation place where you're getting ready to get set, which is our next one, right? So getting set. I thought about this for a minute too. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the things and the circumstances that are happening in my own life. I'll give you an example. I'm preparing for a huge business endeavor, right? This business endeavor I've been working on for the past 3 years because it's just that big. And it required me to go through a couple of different trainings. It's not something that I could just jump into. I could have, but I don't think I will be able to execute it flawlessly like I want to without this training. So I went through the training. I've invested in myself, I've invested in the work to be able to get into the right position so that when I do go and take off, it is presented in such a way where you just will know it's God. That's that visible distinction. Like there's no way she could have done that without God. And that's extremely important for me as a business owner, is that other people see what is replicable and what can be done based off of the level of excellence in which it's done, right? So getting set is also in this place. It's a particular um, way of doing something, and it tends to deal with your posture. So we talked on the first mark about the first point on your mark about positioning, getting into the right position. But getting set is really about posture, and it's a particular way of um, dealing with something or doing something. So you might be in the right position for it. So let's say you're in a position to start a business. Let's say you're in a position to transition home, which was something for me when I homeschooled my kids. When I started a home based business, that was a huge transition for me. Yes, I had the position, I'm homeschool mom, I'm CEO, but if I don't take the right posture for that position, I'm still going to miss the mark. Do you understand what I'm saying? Position is extremely important, but posture to me is more important than anything else because it speaks to the attitude, it speaks to your approach. So if you're slowing down enough to understand the preparation, it's the approach that you're going to take towards doing these things. So in an understanding why you just can't always just jump forward. And I hear a lot of other coaches share the message of start before you're ready, which is a beautiful message. It's encouraging. It encourages people to just go. But sometimes we just go and it's sloppy. And then we'll say, oh, it didn't work. But I prayed about it and it didn't work because it was done sloppy. It was done rushed. You started before you were ready, but there's still some type of time you got to scale it back and focus on your personal growth, your professional growth. That's why I said, as a personal growth coach, it is so important to me to be able to pour into people, especially builders, people who are getting equipped, because that process is not to be taken lightly. Your growth is not something that is taken lightly. Making sure that you are having the right nourishment, feeding your mind, feeding your spirit, feeding your habits, feeding your daily planner with the right information is important. What is on your to-do list is not as important as what you are actually doing and how you go about doing it. One of the things that I kept looking at when I kept looking at this word posture, it stuck with me for a while because the attitude or the approach that you take towards something really, to me, speaks to the unique voice and the unique gift that you have. This is when it really shows. A lot of people assume a lot of titles. I can call myself anything I want to in this day and age. And as long as I create a brand around it, someone will believe that that is who I am. But the minute that I open my mouth and I start to talk about or present the way that I do something, it'll show. The approach that I take towards it will show if I'm real deal or not, right? And so I think it's critically important that as you go through training, that attitude is discussed throughout that process. And I'll give you a prime example. There are a lot of times that as a busy mom, I'm like, hey, you know what? Dinner on the fast food restaurant tonight. So I'll go through the drive through, and someone's attitude or approach towards their job lets me know how they really feel about said job. You have a position, you're being paid for it. It might be rewarding, it might not be, but the way that you approach that job at a let's say a Chick fil A, is a little bit different than how you approach that job at a McDonald's. And I know it's a running joke. We always kid about, the difference between McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, but there's a huge difference. And that huge difference is their attitude and their approach. Chick-fil-A has spent a significant amount of time on training its employees on customer service and having the right attitude, where when you go there, everything is their pleasure. Can I have an extra sugar? My pleasure. This isn't hot. Do you think you can make it again? My pleasure. You don't feel bad asking questions or asking for what you want because you know it's their pleasure. They greet you well, you leave satisfied, you want to come back for more. That's their approach. And it keeps people coming back. They will never beg for business because they have the ability to go about dealing with something in the right capacity to where they never have to beg. They will always attract wonderful people because they exude excellence and wonder when you go there. It's like, wow, I love coming to Chick fil A. Whereas if you go to another restaurant and they tell you, go ahead with your order. Is there anything else? Anything else? Anything else? You're like, dog, I haven't even got out what I want to say. Like, I didn't even get a chance to say, ask a question or look at the menu and think about what my palate may want in the moment. Nothing. You get rushed, you get mistreated, and you don't want to come back. So something as simple as that is just how you greet people, how you introduce yourself, how you introduce your product, how you introduce what it is that you're doing, how you welcome people in love, the tone that you take. Are you a person who teaches? Are you a person who comes alongside and guides? Thinking about how you approach your work, whether that's working at home, whether that's working in your career, whether that's working on a new business venture. This is a time that you really want to think about what that looks like. And if you can, the beautiful thing about journaling and why I really push the notebooks is because I sit and I think about it and I write it out. If I was the person that I'm working with, how would I want me to show up in the morning? You know, I'm not naturally a morning person, so I like to be greeted well in the morning. It helps to propel my morning and propel me into my work. The minute I get frustrated because I'm already pretty tired, it's like somebody else can, their attitude can set my entire day off. So I'm very mindful of who I speak to first thing in the morning and what my mindset is like because it's how I present the rest of my day. And my day typically has a good flow when my mornings are well. And so this approach and this attitude, can't stress it enough. This getting set time is an opportunity to get those things in position the same way that you set a table. Everything has a certain place where it has to be. Again, it's that preparation time. So it's getting things into the position where they need to be. Also, another word, when I looked at posture, I looked it up, this definition to give to you. I saw the word pose. And I thought that that was really interesting. I like to look at the definition and the meanings of words because I feel sometimes when we say them, it has a deeper meaning and a deeper message there that we can miss when we rush, which is why the teacher studies so that the student understands and gets the fullness and the depth of a message, right? And so when I looked at the word pose, it was assuming a particular position to be photographed, painted, or drawn. And I thought that that was powerful. Why do you think I thought that was so powerful? Because if you're assuming a position to be photographed, painted, or drawn, just like these figures here in this photograph, this getting set means it makes you replicable. When we talked about Chick-fil-A, Kathy Truitt, is that his name? Kathy Truitt? I think so. He sat down and he wrote out his customer service plan, his ideal vision of what an experience with Chick fil A was like. And my goodness, it's an experience from greeting to saying goodbye. It's an experience. He wrote it down. It became the standard operating procedure of how you deal with customers. It then became something that was replicable across various franchises of Chick fil A. There's a reason that there is a consistency there because they took the time to map out what that experience is like, develop it into something that is replicable. And if we talked about having a visible distinction, again, something that I can see, that means if I can see it, I can replicate it. Do you understand how powerful that is for a leader? Because as a leader of anything in your home, in your business, on your job, you should be creating other leaders. That is that iron sharpening experience where you're understanding it's time for me to get myself together in such a way that whoever is seeing me wants to be like me, wants to emulate me. It's saying there's something so special about her. I got to get a dose of whatever she has. I need to know what is fueling her. I need to know what her mindset is. There are certain people that I approach. I'm just like, I need to learn more about you because it's something you got it. You know how we say that somebody has that it factor? There's something about you. I need to know what it is. And it's a radiance. What I call here at Motivator Inc., we have a training called the Radiant Leader. And it really talks about this thing that is inside of you that you radiate out. And so I know what I call it. Our it factor is the radiant leader. And we go through the radiant roadmap, which trains you on how to become a more radiant leader. But it is also that thing there too that makes you replicable. It's an understanding. You got to know exactly what that is. But the posture, in addition to the pose, as you begin to stand taller with your chin higher, you begin to speak differently, you begin to show up differently, you begin to change your habits, it also creates alignment. Again, just like if you were slumped over before, head down because you were unsure if you're the right person, if this is the right time, if this is the right vision, you've got 50 ideas, you don't know which one to execute on first, it's super confusing. But the posture creates alignment. Now I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know how I'm supposed to deal with this. I understand that I'm already marked with this unique voice, this unique gift. It's go time for me. I'm picking one of these things and I'm getting started. It creates alignment. You begin to stand taller. Things become clearer. The preparation, the training, all of these things become a little bit of a roadmap for you. And it causes you to push your shoulders back. And it causes you to just see better, think clearer, do things differently. And it creates an alignment with your work. You're no longer doing the things that you used to do because they fall out of alignment with where it is that you are going. When you understand the destination of where you're going, you understand, okay, if I'm supposed to be going to New York, seeing California or even a stop in California doesn't make sense to me because that's nowhere near the destination where I'm going. A trip to California sounds nice, but it's not on the path to the destination where I'm going. And it's the same with our unique gifting, it's the same with our work. We have to understand what is on that road and what is not. Because, like I said before, the enemy's job is to keep you so distracted and so busy that you never get to your destination. So, paying attention to getting on your mark is getting into that position. But also, when you get into position, you get to focus on the destination. It's a pausing place, it's a focus space where you literally are sitting and stopping, breathing, looking, saying to yourself, I got this, we got this, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go, I got it. So that when you do hear the whistle and it is go time, you know exactly where it is that you are going. Okay? Let's talk about go time. Okay? So we said it's go time. I started this off. I said it's go time. It's go time. Where are we going? What are we doing? What are we going with? Go time indicates movement, right? This is where I think a lot of people get stuck. I think some people get clear, and I say some because not everyone is clear on what their purpose is, what it is that they're supposed to be doing. We get a lot of ideas, we get things that we get excited about, passionate about, but we're really not sure what it is. But here's what I felt in my spirit this year when I heard it's go time. I heard God telling me that I'm moving too slowly, that I'm stalling, that stalling for me is doubt. Sometimes it's that feeling of, I don't know if this is the thing that is going to be the catalyst for me to change my life. And if I'm going to invest my time and energy in training and preparation, in courses and certifications, in prayer, I want to make sure that it's the right thing for me. And I've been moving slow. But the same way I thought about this race, this kept coming for me, the race, the race, the race. If someone were to blow the whistle and say, the race has started, go, none of us would walk slowly. None of us will begin with a slow stroll. You start off with a jog and then you take off. Your job is to win. Your job is to get to the end of the race. So when it's time to execute on the vision, when it's time to take action, we can't walk. We have got to run. And I mean that prophetically because we are in a season where we don't have margin for doubt. There are so many people who will question everything about everything that you do, how you do it, how will you do that? I don't understand. And we have to understand that what is meant for us is not meant for everyone else understanding. This was so hard for me to grasp because I wanted to explain to people why I was doing what I was doing and why the timing of this was so important because I wanted their support. But what I realized is when you are confident in your own vision, when you are confident in the thing that you're supposed to move in, you just got to move. And everybody cannot go with you. I kept hearing that, like everybody can't go with you. I assumed it was like friends, but sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's the people that are very close to you who you need their support. They can't go with you either. And so it's hard having people drop off because it starts to become a really lonely experience. And it's not supposed to be. I've always heard leadership should not be lonely. If it is, you're not doing it right because you're taking this hierarchy position when it comes to leadership. And that's not what God intended for us. He intended for us to move in fellowship with one another when it comes to leadership. So it's not supposed to be something that's done in isolation. It's something that's done as a group. So if you're thinking about the runners, if you're moving and walking slow and everybody else is taking off in front of you, you're not going with the group. You're going a little bit too slow. You're falling behind. And then you start to lose the mindset. Man, I'm way back here. I don't think I can catch up. I might as well just go ahead and give up. How many of you have found yourself in that season where the people that you've been watching, they're moving forward. They're taking off. Success is seeking them. And you're like, man, ain't nothing seeking me. Ain't nothing following me. It's because you're moving slow. When you move and you have your eye on the destination and you train and you prepare, there's a certain strength and confidence you move in. That's why I have here speed indicates strength. When you move slowly, that means you're hesitant about something. What is it that you're hesitant about? When you hear it's go time, come on, sis, we're getting ready to go, we're getting ready to do it. There's something that rises up for you that's like, you got to address the because the if you unaddressed, will continue to come up for you. And it's going to become a barrier for you to be able to move forward. So you've got to address what that is. Got to address what that is. I wrote on here heaven has a frequency because I'm one of the people who go with God. I can't teach you anything else other than the foundation that I live on, and that is going with God. The word frequency is a regularity or a reoccurrence. And I believe that heaven has a way of frequently showing up for us. There's a frequency in messaging. Sometimes what we call a coincidence. It's like, oh, this person randomly came up to me and started talking to me about this. Oh, I randomly saw this encouraging message today and it was just what I needed. Those are not coincidences. To me, it's heaven speaking. And there's a frequency to it. It's reoccurring thoughts, reoccurring vision, reoccurring dream. And if there's anything that is happening like that in your life, I think it's something that you should give attention to. And it is likely the thing that you need to go on. I remember specifically homeschooling. I'll give an example with this because this is one of the trickiest areas of my life. It's something that I wanted to do, I've always wanted to do, never been supported in, always questioned about. Why would you want to do that? Just send those kids back to school. Why would you just, I mean, what'd you get all those degrees for? Why'd you go to work if you just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom? Like, it's so minimized. The idea of wanting to work from home, wanting to be home, the idea of home is minimal in today's society. It feels like the low place. And so when I would encourage myself to feel like and know that the work that I'm doing is important and it's valuable in my home and I'm leading my children in the same way that we talk about a lot of the adults who are lost. And it's like, didn't your mama teach you? What kind of home were you raised in? Home is important. Please don't ever minimize the importance of home. Home is extremely important. I knew that. I felt that in my spirit, but I kept doing stop and go because the people around me's voices were starting to get louder than my own. They were starting to get louder than God's, and they had a problem. And I had to address what that problem was. And so I knew that if I just dug my heels in deep and I started to pay attention to other teachers who were also doing this work, talk through their frustrations, talk with how they deal with people like this or negative naysayers, even when they're friends, even when they're family. How do I find the momentum and the courage to keep going with something that I know is right, but everybody's telling me is wrong? And I realized that there's a flow. It's not something that you have to force. Execution has a flow. When you get started, it almost feels repetitious, like there's an ease to it. And I love when there's an ease to my work because it allows me to understand that I'm in the right place. Now, everything is not going to be flawless victory. You're never going to experience a challenge or a setback. Absolutely not what I'm saying. But you will feel a synergy towards the work that you are doing when you are in alignment with your divine assignment. There is a synergy, there is a flow, there is a frequency, and there's a speed at which you can move when you follow that flow and frequency. There is a strength and a muscle and a faith muscle that is flexed and developed as you find your flow. You can only find your flow when you go, though. Okay. Oh, that's nice. You can only find your flow when you go. You can't find your stride walking. You have to move and move quickly on the vision that you have been given. And here, when I kept thinking about this as well, I was like, it's more to that. It's got to be more to that. And so I kept thinking, a body in motion stays in motion. That kept popping up for me. So I wrote it down. It's the power of journaling, right? So I'm like, what's the opposite of that? A body at rest stays at rest. For those of you who aren't moving, for those of you who aren't executing on your vision, you gonna stay at rest. There's nothing nobody had to work on for you. You being at rest with your vision, you being cool, doing nothing, you can stay just like that to the end of your days and nothing will happen. But the minute you make a decision to get up and move your body, start to create the motion or the momentum that is required for you to move, you will continue to stay in motion unless acted upon by another force. And this is what I think is so important for me to stress to you today, that there is going to be a force. When God wants you to move, that stay in that rest thing, that's cool, but He can bring a force into your life. There's something that's going to force you to move. It might be your circumstance, it might be your situation, it might be a problem, it may be something really big and cataclysmic, and you're like, whoa, this changed my life. What is going on? Everything is crumbling apart. That's that force. It's getting you to move. And the definition of force, force can change the magnitude and the direction. And I think that that is so important. If you were unclear, like, I'm not sure which one of these things I'm supposed to be moving with. I've been there. Trust me, I'm a visionary. I have visions for days. I just write them down because I don't know if I'll see them all in this lifetime. I don't know if they're for me, so I just write them down. And then God will speak to me about which one is supposed to be, or at least I think I know which one is supposed to be. I'll get started, I'll start taking action, and there could be a force that helps me to change the direction, to know that's not it. That's not where you're supposed to be going. That's not what I called you to do. That may be what you want to do, but that's not what I called you to do. That's not what I need you to do in this season. Because sometimes we do the work and the season change and the direction of your work needs to change. So staying in alignment with your divine assignment, staying on your mark, getting set, going with God allows us the opportunity to be mindful of things like this. So we don't see obstacles and circumstances as problems. I want you to start seeing them as forces. And sometimes it is that push that we all need that's going to move us in the right direction or will move us in greater magnitude towards the work. You've been dibbling and dabbling. You've been ripping and running. We all been there. We're all adulting. We all ripping and running and doing this and that. But God is saying, you know what? The magnitude of this is about to change for you. You might have been doing it at this scale, but I'm about to move you to this scale. You've been moving on this little personal small platform. I'm about to elevate you to this platform. But He recognizes the motion and the activity and the actions that you are taking. It requires you to actually be moving. So please understand that when you start moving, it is something that will continue to work for you unless acted upon by another force, unless something causes you to stop. And so when I hear it's go time, it's spiritually to me saying it's time for you to get up and rise up and move. No longer dibbling and dabbling. It's time for you to dominate. It is time for you to dominate. No more dabbling. You have the authority in you. You have the voice. You are going to attract the people who you attract. You're not going to be for everybody. Heck, I'm not for everybody. And that's okay. But I'm for somebody and I'm going to show up for them somebodies because that's my assignment. And so think about now as we talk about this force, has there been something that's been happening in your life that feels like, yeah, I have been getting a push towards this direction? Or I feel like I'm being pulled out of this and into something else. This may be your sign that it's time for you to move. And start writing it down. The answer may not be available to you right now, but I'm sure something is coming up. And I want you to be mindful of what that something is. Because movement creates momentum, and that momentum keeps your mission in motion. I'm going to say it again. That momentum, that movement, that getting on your mark, moving, running, executing, finding your flow, doing the things that you know you need to do daily for your next opportunity. That motion is the momentum that you need to keep this mission in motion. I don't know anybody. Well, here at Motivator Inc., you'll notice a lot of the resources that I have say motivator, mission minded, their courses or their guides. These things are to help you stay focused on your personal mission, your personal assignment. The reason that you exist, the work that you are doing day in and day out. Every day you wake up, you have a purpose. That's work that you're doing. That's an energy that you carry. To be able to stay steadfast in that work, to be able to be a good steward over that work, there's a mission mindset that you have to take. Whereas the same way a company looks at its mission every day and its mission informs its day to day actions, your personal mission should inform your day to day actions. So if you don't already have a mission statement, a personal mission statement written out, you should. And it's this momentum that will keep you in motion towards that mission, those day to day actions. If you don't know what your personal mission is or haven't created an action plan and you're like, girl, please help me. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm a personal growth coach for because I can connect the two. As a CEO, as a business owner, as a mom, all of these things are part of my personal mission. None is exclusive of the other. They're all a part of my day to day actions. They're all a part of what makes Regina, Regina. And I've had to come to an understanding of that. I used to want to separate, like, well, when I'm a mom and when I'm a wife and when I'm doing my business thing, it's like there is no separation. This is who you are all day, every day. All of them mixed. You are a mom always. You're going to be a wife. You are a business owner. That was a choice that you made, a path that you took, and a goal that you plan on reaching. These are decisions that we make day to day that are a part of our daily mission. And so, if you haven't found your momentum in that space yet, I would love to be able to support you. I would love to be able to encourage you to understand how brilliant and significant and worthy and valued and chosen and loved that you are, because this road is not easy. And one of the things is that we get started and somebody's like, who she thinks she is, going all fast. And it's like, okay. But then when the messages get uglier, the support falls away and you start to feel like you don't have anybody in your corner, or it's too hard, it's too much. I know we've also heard, to whom much is given, much is required. I've been given a lot and it requires a lot of me. I'm tired. Some days I'm exhausted. But I know that it's required of me because it was given to me to execute on this mission. And I want to do it well. Do you want to do your work well, in excellence? I think that we are exceptional. There's a lot of people who start out on this path who fall off and give up. But I think that you are the exception. You are the exception to this rule. Today, this message was for you because God is telling you He wants you to keep going. I am telling you, I want to see you keep going. There's so much foolishness that gets shared online that I want to see more women step into the work that they're doing every single day. Like I said, being a mom, homeschooling, managing a business, dealing with all the challenges that I'm dealing with, and still showing up and having to be strong and having to execute on my faith. Somebody needs to know how to do that. Somebody right now is praying for their spouse, praying for a family, praying that they can start a business. And they need to see that there's a woman who is doing that. I see a lot of career women, CEOs, C suite executives that don't have spouses, that don't have kids because they've thrown themselves into their work. So their identity or their marker is their job. And then later in life, they look around and realize that they would have done it a little bit differently if they had an opportunity to. I don't want to look back on my life and wish I had done something differently. I want to do it in a way that makes me proud, that makes my little legacies proud, that makes every woman who comes into this organization proud, makes them excited, makes them feel celebrated. Like, I love being a woman. I love being a Black woman. We are so fearless and determined and dedicated to see something change. We are cycle breakers, change makers. You came to change the game. It's go time. It's no longer time to play small. Operating from this diminished version of yourself serves no one. Stop dabbling, dominate, step out, press the button. I hear people that are so afraid to press the live button because people going to see me, they're going to see my flaws. And so what? It's a lot of flawed people out here talking junk. You have the recipe, you have the message, you have the encouragement, you have the lesson that somebody needs. And when you do it during the time that it rises up in your body, have you ever felt that tug, that urgency, like I'm supposed to say this, I'm supposed to say it now? Because it's going to align right when somebody clicks and turns on their social media account and goes, I'm getting ready to scroll Facebook today. I'm getting ready to scroll YouTube. They're going to look up something foolish. And then bam, your message hits them. Your training is available. Your course is about to start. Your new book is about to come out. That new PDF, like you can't even write a book. You just made your little PDF. I got a few thoughts. I want to write them down and just put it out there. You don't know what that can do for somebody. I've been in this training space a long time. I've watched people evolve. I've watched them start with a little PDF for free and share, then developed into full-fledged authors, full-fledged course creators, started masterminds and groups, coached other people. Not only did their income accelerate, but they elevated themselves and the people around them. And that's what this is all about. That's what the mission is. A portion of it is about you. You are preparing and positioning yourself so that you are ready for the next big thing to happen for you. You want to be in position. You don't want to be getting ready. You want to be ready. I know I've missed opportunities before because I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready. I hadn't trained hard enough. I knew what I wanted, but I wasn't ready. God humbled me quick. It was a preparation period. But you know what I said to myself? The next time won't catch me. I'm going to be ready the next time. And I was. So if you found yourself, you feel like you've missed the mark. I don't really know if I'm in alignment. I want to get in alignment. I haven't found my flow yet. I want to find my flow. I want to develop my strength in this area. I'm ready to flex my faith muscles. I want to be that standout, distinctive woman in the marketplace, in my home, in my community. I want that for you too. I want to see more women operate from that space. So I'm going to ask you to give some thought to what you feel right now your assignment is. Because in order for you to receive assistance with your assignment or your personal growth plan for your assignment, you got to know what that is. Mine is teaching women to understand their significance, radiate their brilliance, and make their mark. And I would say, people, in this company, it's women. In my house, it's my kids. In my relationship, it's my friends and loved ones. But it's ultimately my mission. If I can help you understand the value that you possess, and I can help you understand what is in you needs to come out, and that there needs to be a distinctive mark that you've left on this world where somebody knows that you were here, then I've done my job. And that's the motivator mission. Spend some time thinking about what your assignment is. I'm just here to tell you that we got to move. We got a race to run. We need to train ourselves. We need to train our mindset to be able to sustain not only when times are good, but when challenges arise, because those are the things that come to throw us off track. Those are the forces that will allow us to become stronger or change direction. We have to have enough wisdom to be discerning about what is happening around us, and wisdom comes through experience. Wisdom comes from being around the right people in the right spaces. You can't be wise sitting on a couch because your body at rest is going to stay at rest. A complacency and a comfort zone has to be pushed past in order to get into this space. And I'm so excited for you to figure out what that is for you. And if you know what it is, I want you to post it online. This is that boldness. This is that courage. This is that strength that you possess. This is you not playing small anymore. Who cares what you posted online? It's your page anyway. Post it online. Use the hashtag Motivator Mission and let me know what your mission is. Tell somebody they need to go back and watch this message in its entirety. Because what I'm hoping is it'll at least be a kickstart for someone to begin. It's a starter place. It's them getting on their mark. It's them recognizing that they are marked, but it's them getting on their mark and saying, I'm ready to get into position, Regina. I'm ready to get in position for my assignment. Once you've figured out what that is, I want to give you a couple of things, a couple of resources. First of all, I want to tell you I'm in this thing with you. I'm passionate about the work that I do, and I'm in this thing with you. My wish is for you to stop stalling and take action today. So here's a couple of ways that I want you to take some more action. I want you to schedule a coaching call with me. I want you to schedule this call, and I want us to sit down and look at the Radiant Roadmap, which is a tool that we use here for people who are ready to take action. I have a couple of other resources as well that I probably will extend to you during this call because I can't help it. I'm a teacher, and the teacher always leaves homework assignments. So schedule this coaching call with me over at motivator.com/coach. I want you to join the text club so that you can stay up to date with new trainings and when I'm going live and when I'm doing things in our private community. And you can join that by going over to motivator.com/text and leaving your number there. You'll become a member of the text club. I want you to just subscribe, to the Motivator Minute. It is daily inspiration straight to your inbox each morning, and it takes no longer than a minute. I think, again, we talk about daily habits, getting on our mark, getting set, getting into position. What you feeding your mind matters. And so the Motivator Minute is an opportunity for you to feed your mind something positive each and every morning at 5 a.m. It goes out. You can sign up over at motivator.com/mm. It costs you nothing. It's free. And if you are ready to take action on your next big vision, this is Small Business Month. I'm excited about it, and I encourage you to learn more about the Motivator Business Accelerator over at motivator.com/MBA. We don't only talk business, we talk leadership and identity. That is a part of my gifting, is helping people to understand who they are in this, because this space is so easy to lose yourself in your title, in your work. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to thrive both as a CEO and as a business leader. And so the Motivator Business Accelerator is a wonderful, beautiful space. I think it's really distinct from any other business accelerator that you've experienced, and I've created it to be such. I'm available on each of your social media platforms listed here. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, at Motivator, on YouTube, at Motivator. Follow me on your favorite social media channels. Subscribe on YouTube. And because I believe in the power of iron sharpening, I'm going to ask one last thing of you. If you enjoyed this training, would you leave me a review on my Facebook page? I'm trying to get more reviews there. Over at facebook.com/motivator, there's a button that says review. If you could just let me know if you've listened to this training or another training or any of the tools and it's something worked for you or something you had an aha moment, leave me a review there, please, and thank you. And share this out with someone who you love, who you say, I want better for you. I'm on this mission. I want you to join me. Listen to the training. Let's talk about what our assignment is together, because I think that we can go together further, faster when we're in this thing together. I am here with you. Here's to your success. You are sent to succeed, sis, gents who are listening. It's go time, y'all. It's time to get to it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And I will see you on the next training. Take care. Peace.